So even if the holiday traffic is much less than usual, this week will still be among the busiest travel periods all year. Sarah Nelson heads the AFA, the Association of Flight Attendants, the largest flight attendant union in the U.S., and she's joining me now from Washington, D.C. Sarah, good to see you.
Good to see you, Fred.
So your industry, is really struggling, and of course you want to see more people traveling by air, but health experts are warning against it right now. So what is your message?
Our message is the same as it has been since January, which is that you've got to attack the virus and contain the threat. Otherwise, we are all in jeopardy, not only our health, but our economic security, too. And so while we are seeing about half of the travelers from the numbers that we saw last year, for example, and in some cases in Atlanta, for example, only 1/3 of that, we're only seeing half of the revenue of that. So we're talking about airlines trying to get by on 25% of the revenue from a year ago. So you cannot make that up by selling more cheap tickets. We've got business travel that is down to essentially non-existent because these businesses are following CDC guidelines, but we don't have a unified plan and clear leadership coming from the federal government yet. And that is why we're still in the middle of this crisis. And that is why right now half of my union is on furlough or not getting a paycheck and without health care after having been on the front lines and served as essential workers from the beginning days of this pandemic.
So what's your worry going forward about how to kind of resurrect business, how to recover from all of these losses, financial losses, job losses? I mean, it's impacting so many levels in the airline industry.
Well, look, Fred, it is heartbreaking. People want to be together, as you're reporting there. People want to be together over the holidays, and the best way that you can protect your family and your friends is to stay apart. In the airline industry, we are both the backbone of the economy and the infrastructure that can help us attack the virus. More recently, understanding that a distribution of the vaccine requires the full operation of the airline industry. The vast majority of those vaccines cannot be transported unless they're transported on jumbo jets that are sitting on the ground right now. We put in place a workers first relief package in March that kept the airline industry together, kept us serving all of our communities, and also allowing for that financial relief so that people can make good public health decisions. This is what we have to do. We have to bring it all down together. The government has to provide assistance just like they did to the airline industry to keep us in our jobs connected to our health care. That ended, though, on September 30th. It was the best template for the whole country. That has to be reinstated, and we've got to get relief in place. Congress put relief in place in 3 days in March, coming together after voting down a $1 trillion package that was mostly for corporations. 3 days later, they put in $2 trillion of relief that was focused on getting relief to real people. And in the airline industry, we made sure it was workers first. They have to do that again right now as we're hitting the cliff of the holidays, the day after Christmas, 12 million more people falling off of unemployment. Student loans starting up again, 30 to 40 million people facing eviction. We have to take care of all those financial needs so that people can bring down the business, get the virus under control so that we can open back up again safely.
So it sounds like you're really hoping for that with a new session of Congress after, early January, because with this lame duck session, I mean, no hope for any kind of new stimulus plan to even involve the airline industry in any kind of vaccine distribution program.
So, Fred, if we don't get this in place for the rest of the country and for the airline industry will not be able to ramp up fast enough to be able to distribute the vaccine, which is going to prolong the hurt for everyone. So this has got to get in place. And the good news is that in March, 96-0, the Senate voted for a $2 trillion relief package. They've done it before. It's the exact same senators. They can do it again. Anyone who is politically musing about this not being politically possible is practicing malpractice against the American people. They need to turn to the essential workers who have been patriots from the beginning, support those people, get this relief to the American people, and they can do it. They can do it this first week when they come back from this Thanksgiving break, and the rest of the American people need to demand it.
All right, lots of pain right now. Sarah Nelson, thank you.